Okay, I'll have I'll have three poems. One of them short. This is a prologue. TW3. 1964 was a US television show imported from the UK. This was The Week That Was, or TW3. Now, last week I read in Paris on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I went to a funeral of an old friend. On Thursday, I had an annoying medical procedure. On Friday, I had a follow-up on a procedure. On Saturday, I had to back out of an important event. So hold on to your hats. Here we go. Now, I might have read the first one in this prologue last week because I had written it before the meeting. I definitely did not have the second one written. Steve. Steve was a friend, an antagonist, a roommate, a classmate for 10 plus years, 2 years at Good Shepherd Grammar School, 3 years at Cardinal Farley Military Academy, 4 years at Iona College, a cup of coffee, mine at Fordham Law School. Both raised by strong women after the death of parents, him by an aunt after the death of both, me by a mother after the death of my father. He was big and imposing. I was short with a big mouth. The only things we had in common in military school were the neighborhood of our origin, the fact that we were not affluent and a student body of affluence, but it was enough to build a bond. In college, he was more concerned with books and writing. I with basketball and beer. We both went on to be more successful than might have been predicted. Him as an FBI agent first and an attorney of great renown. Me as a technologist, Wall Street executive, and owner of a consulting firm. Knowing really little of my technology acumen, he was still always praising to others. And we both became adjunct professors, him at Fordham Law, me at a number of New York colleges. And we both, at least until my divorce and remarried, settled in Riverdale section of the Bronx and had children in the theatrical world. So we had many links that bond us. We would occasionally see each other in the neighborhood and get together at school reunions. When I turned to poetry, he was encouraging, would always send me warm notes whenever I sent him one of my books. I found out about his death when my latest book was not delivered. So we may not have been really close friends, but we were friends for almost 75 years. With so many shared experiences, and now he is gone, and I miss him already. Then afterward, it did not seem possible this 6'6" robust man would ever leave this world before me. But life does not have logic. And then we move on to Stones. I actually wrote this before, while I was waiting to get on to the Hudson Valley Writer Center last Friday. And while I was waiting, I wrote this and delivered it at the Writing Center, which is unusual for me. Normally, I take time to work through a poem, but I didn't with this. I have made a couple of changes since. Stones. When we heard the expression, he's got stones in the old neighborhood, we took it to be a less profane, he's got balls, and a less proper, he's got nerve. Jacob and Richards had stones. I was recently exposed to more accurate use of the word when I was diagnosed with stones, kidney and bladder, not fun. Kidney stones once required going into a particularly sensitive area of the male anatomy to blast them to be passed. But the good news, this is no longer necessary, as improved medical technology has provided the way to blast them from outside the body. The bad news, that is not the procedure for bladder stones. First, the urologist, a very pleasant fellow, at the visit inserted a video camera, a very tiny one, into the sensitive area. And I watched entranced on a big monitor as we explored the innards of my kidneys and bladder. This fantastic video tour took away from the discomfort of the inserted device. Not so for the actual remover of the bladder stones. While the procedure is done under general anesthesia, it is disconcerting and somewhat painful to wake up with a catheter inserted in the aforementioned organ and attached to a plastic bag ugly and awful. The next day, the device comes off with the instruction to drink plenty of water to flush out the fragments of the stones. Nice message. But it doesn't say when your body wants to flush it out, you'll get a very sharp pain and have to run, not walk, to the nearest bathroom. I just lost that for a moment and I must get back. I have the kidney stones removed in a week and a half, and I've had this procedure before and did not have a catheter. I do not intend to have one this time either. If in the future I have to make a choice between the catheter and euthanasia, I will have to think very hard about it. Thank you for putting up with me.